Hello everybody and welcome on board this Moody S31 that was constructed in 1997 and commissioned in 1998. This is a virtual reality tour of this boat to give you an idea of her layout, where things are, how she feels to be on board without actually being here. All you need to do is click and drag or swipe your screen up, down, left or right, and you can look around wherever you like. And we really hope that this will give you a great feel as to what it's like to be on this boat. Now I will move the camera around occasionally. If I'm going to, I will let you know, because sometimes people are a little bit sensitive to the movement of the camera. When the camera's back down safely, I will let you know and we can continue the tour together, but let's hope that doesn't happen. So here we are, we're in the cockpit of this lovely, nice, white, shiny Moody S31. How do I feel? Well, I'm feeling very proud actually, because she's a Moody. She looks great, very easy on the eye, and we're in this really, really nice cockpit area here. If you just look around, you can see we feel connected with the sea at the moment. There are no dodgers on this boat, not non-fitted at the moment anyway. But all the way around the boat, or around the cockpit, we've got lots of fixtures and fittings. So we've got two self-tailing winches, another non-self-tailer just behind you over here. We've got provision for a kedge anchor at the stern as well. We've got the opening transom here, so you can step through that if you want to, if the berth's right. And on the starboard side here, you can see we've got the Dan buoy, we've got the boat hook, we've got fishing rod holders either side. There is a lot of equipment on this boat, so you probably wouldn't be short of anything that you want. As you can see, the seating looks lovely. That's because it's just been refurbished. It looks absolutely beautiful and really brings up this cockpit, I think. And just looking down here, you probably can't see, but we've got provision for a cockpit table holder, a bilge pump here. We've got another bilge pump inside the cockpit locker there as well. We've got a harness somewhere where we can clip on our harnesses, and on the starboard side here we've got a lift up lid here for the seat, and as you can see below that we've got the hatchway down to the massive aft cabin. So if you want to get in and out of there in an emergency, that's fine, but if you just want to let some light and air in down below, that's also fine too. And then coming around to the starboard aft corner, we can see we've got the engine start, stop and tachometer, so all the controls really nice and handy and at hand for the helm, who is here on the really nice long tiller bar. Now, just before I won't open it because the washboard's in the way, but we've got a really lovely, great big locker here. Lots of room in there, nice and deep for your ropes, fenders, etc., etc. And at the front end of that locker, we've got a provision for a gas locker with one gas bottle in there at the moment, but you can fit two in there if you like. So, feeling really rather nice on here. And she's a Moody. We all know I like them. But let's lift you up, and I'll just reposition you over by the companionway. So let's place you up there, so you can get you nice and steady. There you go. So take a look around. You can see really, really nice high spray hood here. Comes back a long way and nice and wide as well, with lovely, great big windows. So if I'm on the helm here, we can see forward. You've got a really good view, almost unobstructed apart from the two sides here. So great for watch keeping, great for letting light in, and great for keeping the weather off. And because it's so tall as well, nice and easy to get down to the companionway. So we've got 1-2 steps up, bit of a crouch, and then down to the interior, which we'll see in a moment. But let's concentrate on up here. We've got two stereo speakers. We've got the compass there, and we've got two Hallid winches here, and all lines led aft, or it looks like all lines are led aft. So for short-handed or solo, or if it's bad weather, etc., and you don't want to go up forwards, then you've got the controls here, which I really, really like. Navigation instruments across the top there, and the sliding companionway just finish off this area really nicely. So I think, yeah, very nice cockpit indeed, and very nice and white and shiny, which we like. So let's delve down below, shall we? I'll pick the camera up, so here we go. You can follow me, or no, you can go in advance of me, and I'll place you right in the middle of the compartment. So there we go. What do we think? Well, I think it's a lovely interior down here. Let's do the all-important head height test in the middle. So I'm 5'9". There's probably about 6 feet there, I think. So most people are going to be okay. It does curve down a little bit at the edges, but what's that between friends? Now, as we came down the companionway, if we just look, we can see we've got a handhold here, we've got nice fiddles here, handholds above us here as well, so nice fiddle here also. So nice and easy to traverse about this boat in the weather, I think. Not too open with nothing there, but not too hindered either. So really rather good. We've got windows port and starboard. These particular windows are a little bit UV crazed, so somebody might want to fix those. We've got an opening window above the galley here to let the fumes, the oily, greasy fumes out, etc. And we've got a hatch in the deck head up there, which is also going to help ventilate this boat. Going down from the headlining, incidentally, the headlining is a GRP mould, so that's going to be nice and easy to wipe. You're not going to accumulate all the mould, etc. up there, so really easy to keep nice looking, no headlining droop, etc. that we do get on the older boats. We'll just move our way around anti-clockwise around the compartment. So we talked about the companionway. This part of the companionway does unscrew and take off. 4 screws. Can take a while, it takes a minute or so. If you're in a hurry with cold hands, it might be a bit tougher, but there is much easier access through the aft cabin, which is what the owner preferred. But the advantage of these screws means that it's really rock solidly attached, feels really nice and solid. We'll pop into the heads in a bit, but obviously you'll notice the heads is really near the companionway, nice and easy for the crew to go in there when they need to, without bringing all the water and salt up forwards into the main accommodation and getting everything wet. Really great. So let's talk about the nav station. No, I'll go back to where I was. The nav station is aft facing, so the navigator is going to be perched here. We've got a little cupboard underneath, which is lovely. We've got stowage in there, which is lovely as well. We've got a pencil and chart holder here, etc. We've got the Raymarine units here, so really nice and easy for the navigator to see, which is fabulous. On the outboard side, we've got VHF, we've got AIS, we've got electrics panel, water level, fuel level, battery levels, stereo, windlass breaker, charging point, barometer, etc, etc. Pretty much everything that you could possibly want on a yacht of this size. Then that lends itself forwards along the starboard side. We've got nice wooden effect interior hull lining there. The chain plates strengthening, or the chain plates and additional points of attachment come through the saloon, but they're nice and shiny, so quite nice really, something to hold on to, something to tie things to maybe. If I just sit myself here, we've got stowage down here as well, so we've got various things like an extendable dinghy handle here, etc. So bit of room there, but no cupboards up here. These cupboards here are taken up by this equipment. Those cupboards we'll look at in a moment. Really nice long wide berth, be nice and comfortable here for a night, I think. No real stowage underneath as far as I can see, because we've got the water tanks port on the starboard, but there is a little bit of room under there. You never know what you might be able to get in there. And then moving down, we've got the soles, or the floor, the interior floor, the usual nice wooden effect ones that we've got here. Look in very nice condition. I feel they've probably been refurbed at some point, because they do look really nice. Access in the middle there to get to the bilge pump suction, and we can see the keel bolts too. But generally speaking, they're screwed down. Yes, there's one more access up forwards there as well, so you can get to your keel bolts and check them if you think you need to, if you've had a little issue. But let's not even go there. Right, you are sitting on the saloon table, as you can see. There's a little drop-in section there. I won't open it because the camera's sitting on it, but somewhere in there for the secret bottles of wine. And we have 2 flaps that lift up to give you a nice wide table there, so you get lots of people around there to sit and eat their dinner or breakfast or lunch, whichever it may be. But that folds away and stays as you see it now. We've got the compression post forwards of that, so that's something else to hold on to, tie things onto, etc, etc. But other than that, it's quite a fairly conventional layout as far as yachts go. We'll quickly talk about the port side. Again, we've got the nice long berth here, which looks identical to the starboard berth. Tank underneath, so limited storage. And on the outboard side again, we've got more stuff stored in the binnacles behind the seat back there, so that gives you an idea of the kind of things that you might want to put in there. And then along here, we've got a row of cupboards, which kind of match the shape of the starboard side, but we've got cupboards here instead of equipment basically, and that runs all the way to the aft of the galley. So the galley itself, nice L-shaped, very conventional. I can stand here, I can wash up, I can get things out of the fridge, I can cook, and I can pass things up and down from the companionway really nice and easily. I can also pass it over to the saloon table, so I really like this layout. The only downside is that, of course, if somebody wants to go to the aft cabin, I have to step out of the way or squeeze myself in, which I wouldn't really want to do because there's a cooker here, so just something to think about. We've got a built-in bin locker here. room for your dustpan and brush, etc. Cutlery drawer, and also the refrigeration machinery is located underneath this sink unit as well, which I quite like because it's easy to get to, and very often they're buried in the bilge or in the back of a cupboard somewhere, but not so on this boat. We've got a fridge here which forms part of the work surface, insulated working fridge, nice and deep. I'll show you how deep it is. There we go, down to the bottom, so nearly an arm's length there, lovely. And outboard of that we've got a couple of drop-in storages. The cooker here looks nice and clean, 2 burners on top, cooker and grill underneath, gimbaled for use at sea as well, I think. So pretty much a galley that does everything you might want a galley to do, I think. So all really rather good, and it just feels quality. It feels wooden, it feels white, but it's a really nice mix of both, I think, and the kind of thing that will appeal to most people after a yacht like this. But anyway, let's pick you up and we'll transport you magically with Tim into the forward cabin. So have a look around, tell me what you think. It's a V-berth. We've got the infill here already in place, so you can see we've got a full beamed forward V-berth. Not hugely long, I don't think, but you know, we've got compromises elsewhere, so we've made some things bigger, so something might have got a little bit smaller at this end. But if we look around, we can see we've got cupboards port and starboard, shelves port and starboard, and the nice wooden lining of the hull is carried on through this compartment too. The windlass there is left exposed because the owner wants to be able to see it and maintain it or fix it if necessary. It's one of those things, not a bad idea. And if you just look up, we can see headlining again is a mould, so just a quick wipe every now and again, and we've also got the hatch set in there so you can climb in and out or just let the air and the light in. Very good. Right then, let's lift you up. I did promise you a trip to the head, so that's where I'm going to take you now. You'll be pleased to know. And there we go. I'll plonk you just there, just outboard. I hope you can see everything okay. So you'll notice as I come in, I have to get around this little box here. This forms the back of the navigation instrument on the bulkhead here, just above. I'm saying here as if you can see it. Round the corner here is where the ray marine unit is above the chart table. So that's got a backing, and that is covered up by this box here. So it does make this a little bit narrower, but it's not too bad. As long as you know it's there, you can traverse around it. No worries. Again, the GLP interior carries on in here, so nice and white, exceptionally easy to clean this compartment. We've got nice radiused corners everywhere, very nice indeed. Helping you with that to let the condensation out and to keep the place dry, we've got 2 opening windows above the camera which you won't be able to see. We've got curtains in here too, as we have all the way around the boat. And outboard you can see we've got the a couple of lockers there, we've got the shower attachment here, drains away to bilge, we've got stowage underneath the sink, and we've got the manual head itself. So everything you'd need here for a long weekend or maybe a little bit longer at sea. And there's also a provision here for hanging your wet fowlies and wellies, etc. So yeah, really good, very well thought out. So let's pick you up again and we'll go for the penultimate trip into the after cabin. So here we go through the vestibule, or the entrance, or whichever you'd like to call it. I think the best place to put you is about there, and I'll get off my knees and sit on the corner here, because I think this is where you would be sitting and pulling on your wellies and your fowlies or your oilies if you're staying on board, if you're going to go for day sailing. Nice and easy door to get through. The head height less than 5'9". If you just heard me bang my head, probably about 5'7", but we're getting to the back of the boat here. Outboard we've got the window here, and we've also got the hatch up there, so the escape hatch into the cockpit if you need it, but also light and air in, and light and air in here too. Nice size cupboard here, that was jam packed at the moment with engineering goodies by the looks of it. And if I just turn around, back on my knees, we can see we've got stowage here, so this would be for your hanging locker. We've got somewhere for your shoes, etc. Here we've got a nice bench seat which is just to sit at and get help get your clothes on if you want, or maybe sit and read, I don't know. And then just looking around, we've got quite a complicated array of intrusion into the aft cabin like we do with all S31s, but it's all nicely rounded, not padded or anything, it's bare GLP, but it doesn't come down as far as a lot of boats do, and it finishes just about where the camera is. So you can see the bed itself, the majority of it is completely free of any kind of obstacle like this, and it just starts on the port side. So the person on the starboard side can sit and roll over, do whatever they want. plenty of room. The person here, I think you could sit here and read actually, because there's plenty of headroom here, but it does drop down here, but that doesn't matter because that's where your feet are going to be. I did mention that there's rear access to the engine, so that's under here. So this cushion pulls forward, the lid lifts up, you can get to the top of the engine, you can get to the batteries, you can get to the shaft line, etc, etc. So all quite nice and easy to access. All you need to do is do the usual cushion flipping, etc, etc to get to it. So very good indeed. So I will now take you from the cabin and return you from whence we nearly started in the saloon. So there we go, and I'll sum up by saying thank you so much for joining us in this Moody S31 from 1997-8. We've looked at the cockpit, nice, loads of room, plenty of equipment out there, nice and easy to get down here. We've got the heads on the right hand side here, great access from the cockpit, etc. Nice chart table, though rear facing, which some people may not like, but we don't think it really makes any difference. Lots of equipment here, nice berths, port and starboard here, water tanks underneath, plenty of room to get past, plenty of handles, etc, fiddles to hold on to at sea, through to the forward cabin, which is the just a conventional V-berth with an infill at the moment, couple of cupboards, bit of stowage in there, round to the galley where we've got the L shape, we've got a big sink here, running fridge, nice gimbaled cooker, lots of stowage behind there, and then finally into the after cabin, which as you saw has acres and acres of lying down room and access to the aft end of the engine as well. Hope you've enjoyed the tour, hope you understand a little bit more about what these boats are about, how they're put together, and if she might be the sort of boat that you might fancy one day. But for now, thanks for watching. Always lovely to see you, and we hope to see you next time. Take care.